Now then, very quickly, could you tell me the difference between what you do and at the Agriculture Department and what you do, Mr. Veerasekara, in the Agrarian Department? What's the difference?
The Agriculture Department is responsible for technology generation and technology dissemination. That's the technology part. We'll give it to the farmers. We give that. Plus, we have additional work. We are developing diploma holders. That's the teaching part is there, and also we are doing the seed production.
Right.
Part.
And agrarian services.
Yes, basically my department responsible for implementing Agrarian Development Act.
Right.
And there are 6 segments, and providing fertilizer and seed paddy and planting materials, and mine irrigation and water management,
right,
and establishment farmer tribunals,
okay,
and farm organization at the activities, and tenure cultivation and the farmers dispute,
right,
resolving through our tribunals.
Okay. Now, so let me ask you this question. Let's address it to the ministry, because when we follow the press and TV and radio and so on, the public seems to have it on their minds that there is a problem when it comes to distribution, especially now during these pandemic days, that the distribution isn't quite working, and also that the farmers, we see bulletin after bulletin on TV and so on, where the farmers are complaining and complaining. What's going on? What's the real story?
Now, in fact, now, if you take usually the pattern of agriculture, that is, so we have 2 seasons mainly, Yala and Maha. This is the dry season where, the cultivation starts just after the, intermonsoonal rains, and so the April and May, usually the people are really, going behind for seeds, fertilizer, as you said, for their cultivations, right? So in the middle, you all know that we had a problem like this because of COVID-19 pandemic has come into the scene, and so this has worsened the situation, because now even we see the agriculture as an essential service. The loading and unloading, especially the fertilizer and all the inputs, we have to take people for those things.
Right.
So they are, in most of the cases, even we have stocks, especially if you take about fertilizer. So the companies who are operating, even the government sector, the agencies who are doing the fertilizer. So we have ample stocks of fertilizer to distribute among the farmers. But still, in some cases, the loading and unloading, there were some, the delays.
So right? Are there some challenges where some areas maybe you don't have?
Yeah, of course. I have also seen from different places, and even I have from the ministry side, we have been asking from by the people about the the fertilizer availability and things like that, especially from the Dambul area, right, and the places where people are mostly climatic low, and especially when it comes to paddy, of course, I think Mr. Veerasekara will be able to tell you all, because our fertilizers already gone to the places, right? But when it comes to the other field crops, we have little bit of trouble. Actually, we are little behind, but still, now things are moving, and I should say that things are much better.
Right.
Right, because the other places, not in Colombo, but the others are already lifted. The curfew is lifted, so that things are moving, and the private companies are operating in those areas. And the seeds, of course, they have also gone into the places.
Right.
And now, especially the people will be able to get it, right? Okay. And especially the products from their farmers. Of course, now the government has made an arrangement to get it from the agrarian service centers, right, and now that is also now under operation.
Okay.
And most of the places now the problem is solved, or either
it's getting solved.
Yeah, it's getting solved.
So let me ask you, Mr. Veerasekara, from an agriculture point of view, why are we not self-sufficient in terms of agriculture?
I don't agree with you on that, because when you say why are we not self-sufficient, we are self-sufficient in rice.
Yes. On rice we are.
Rice we are, because, say for example, thanks to our farmers,
Yeah.
We have cultivated roughly about 3.2 million, 0.8 million hectares during this Maha,
Yeah.
and produce roughly about 3.2 million tons of rice. That is enough to feed 9 months in this country.
Right.
Because we need 200,000 tons per month, so that part is enough for 9 months. And this yalla, we are expecting, and the farmers are very busy in preparing the lands, and now they are doing it.
Yeah.
Another 460,000 hectares. So there we are expecting another 2.1 million tons. So altogether, the production within this year is adequate for 15 months. So that means we have self-sufficient in rice. We have excess rice.
Right. But what about these?
But the matter comes to the other crops, other field crops.
Right.
Say for example, maize, we are almost self-sufficient, but we are running short of about 20% deficit.
Right.
Last year we imported about 20% of the total requirement. We need roughly about 500,000 tons. We imported about 120,000 tons of maize from other countries. The groundnut situation is much better. We are near self-sufficiency, but still we are not self-sufficient. Green gram, say we are importing about 40% of our requirement. Black gram, about 20% of our requirement. Big onion is a big problem. We are imported about 80% of our requirement. Then
Is it simply not possible to have that in here?
Let me tell you the other thing also. The dal, Mysore dal, we eat paripu.
Yeah.
Is almost 100% imported. 150,000 tons of Mysore dal is imported. But the dry chili is about 90%, 95% imported.
Right.
So what has happened? Why is that? We, of course, we can't say dal, we can't produce it here. We can produce it, but it's not economical.
Right.
So what we are trying to do is we'll get some substitute to dal, like cowpea, which is Mi-35, which is not very similar to dal. Dal, of course, we know everybody likes it. But what we are trying to do now is this yalla, we are trying to increase the production of these crops which we are importing all the time. Because this government, when they came into power, they said we are going to limit the imports, and we will boost the local production, and then we will reduce the imports. So likewise, we have started this yalla program. Of course, we have started it way before COVID. Somewhere around February, we did the planning, and this yalla, we are almost increasing the land extent by 150%. So for example, normally we do cultivate roughly about 8 to 10,000 hectares of maize, but this season we are trying to go up to about 19,000.
Right.
Mung bean about 13,000. Now, if you think of the big onion, we produce about 60% of our requirement back in 2000, say 13-14 period. But due to bad weather plus the imports and everything, that discouraged the farmers. So what we are trying to do again, now farmers are very happy in doing that. At least to go up to about 4,000 hectares this season, and try to bridge that gap. We will never be able to be self-sufficient because we can't grow big onion during the Maha season because of this excess rain. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to increase the production of small onion, the ratulunu, and then compensate that gap. So likewise we are going to do that.
I don't want to leave Mr. Veerasekara out of this whole exercise. We're going to come back to you. From your perspective, what are we doing to help the farmers and so on? We have a lot of issues where they say that the farmers are complaining and so on. The economic centers being closed. What's the rationale behind that?
So basically, I have around 562 agrarian development centers throughout the country.
Right.
And there are 10,000 field officers in village level.
Right.
And agrarian development center working as a facilitator center.
Right.
Then we are providing water through the mine irrigation.
Right.
And water management is very important for the cultivation, and fertilizer subsidy. we are providing fertilizer to the farmers in subsidized fertilizer
Right.
for paddy. In not only that, my agrarian development center now convert as the vegetables, the yield of the vegetables collecting and distributing center. We are converting this agrarian development center, collecting vegetables and distributing. We have some link with companies, and they are coming to there because of the COVID situation. They are coming and they getting they buying some vegetables. Because of this, I think there are no middlemen these days.
So when we're using it through the agrarian services,
Yes.
the middlemen are cut out. Does that mean that the farmer is getting more money, or is he getting the same money and is somebody else, the retail giants, making the most money? Where are the margins going?
It depends it depends the stock of the market. Sometimes it comes with more yield to the market. It depends on the actually we can't say actual price there because it depends the stock of the market.
Right. Okay. So would you say that the move towards away from the economic centers, where the buyers are trying to deal as far as possible directly with the farmer, would you say that that is benefiting the farmer better now?
There are 7 economic centers,
Right.
but because of the COVID situation, some are closed.
Right.
Then, as a remedy, that's why we are using our agrarian development centers as collecting centers as the distributing centers. But sometimes farmers get more than other days
Right.
because of the middleman does not intervene the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And from a agriculture point of view, I know that many years ago, I think it was President Premadasa who suggested and who wanted to have these cold storage or cold rooms around the country. It doesn't appear that that really has happened. Now, are there any moves now with this new impetus for the country to grow its own vegetables, to grow its own food, in short? Is there any new big move towards investing in cold rooms?
Yeah, I would rather say it's not only on cold rooms, some kind of structures, whatever it is for storage, right? It could be, it varies from crop to crop. So for example, if it is for rice, storage systems should be different. It's not cold room.
Yeah.
Cold storage systems comes where for long-term storage. But if you think of vegetables, if you put it to a cold storage system, freezing thing, it should go with the cold chain.
Right.
So that should go to the high-end market because that will add money to that, right? So in a situation of that nature, what we are trying is the Department of Agriculture is trying to control the production, produce only the required quantity.
Right.
So there we guide the farmers and tell the farmers, okay, now the required amount of this particular crop is in the field, don't cultivate.
Right.
So, and then because farmer doesn't know whether say for example tomato, it could come from Malsirpur or it could come from Nureli, it could come from down south wherever it is. But farmer doesn't know where the glut is coming. So we will give the warning through our
How do you do
mobile
that?
app.
You have an app now.
Yes, we do have an app where let me check whether it's working. Where we call it Boga Purokatane, where when we plug it, you see this. I don't know whether you can see it. You have these main vegetables, bonchi, beet, caravilla, and all that.
Yeah.
When you plug it and try it, it says, okay, it has cultivated this much of hectares, and this much of hectares is running short. So you can cultivate this much.
But perhaps we could show that.
Yeah, try
I
that.
don't know whether
I don't know. It's
cameraman Weere will be able to do that.
yeah. So
But, let's
it
see.
is Boga Purokatane. I don't know what it is. If you go to your mobile, just
To your
get
app store?
the app. So yeah, and I have to tell you that also because right now the officers are not in the field.
Yeah,
so
therefore
we are
it's
not
not
getting. It's not updated route. We are not getting the updated results every 2 weeks. Now
Right.
let me tell you how it is working. Now, as he said, he has a big number of officers in the field.
That's right. 2,000,
officers.
did you say 2,000 field
2,000.
officers? 10,000.
So they go to the farmer and collect, okay,
It sounds like a good story. So let me just go for a quick break, and then you'll tell us after this break. Don't go away. After all, this is Newsline. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
Does your business belong to one of these marketing communication industries? The Market Research Society of Sri Lanka invites you to join a Marcom initiative to estimate the total value of the industry with the aim of engaging the government. WhatsApp 076 887 0757 to receive the registration link.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And welcome back to Newsline, where we're joined by the experts from the agriculture side, including the ministry. You were going to tell me, what about productivity and so on?
Yeah, the biggest problem in this country is, of course, we don't have land. We are a small country.
Yeah.
We have land, but we should have water, fertilizer, and everything. But if you think of today's productivity, to be self-sufficient, we have calculated, we need roughly about 500,000 hectares to be self-sufficient of those 16 crops which we have identified as subsidy system. But if you increase the productivity, you can bring down that to about 300,000. So that the productivity increase is a must. We must use the technology and do it. To add on to that, now to not only the productivity, we have to support the farmer also. So the government has now decided to for those 16 crops like maize, cowpea, bung bean, green gram, and all kinds of things, including turmeric and ginger. Government has decided to give subsidy for the seeds. Those who are cultivating half an acre, the seeds will be free. I mean, what we do is let him cultivate either his own seeds or our department seeds, and then we go to the field and measure it and tell, okay, this is the amount that we are going to give you. The total seed cost will be compensated. From half to 5 acres, 50% subsidy. And then on top of that, insurance scheme is there, and also the price. I think he knows better on this price scheme.
The multi-million rupee question at the moment today will be, where is the turmeric? Everybody wants turmeric. Why is we can't find any in the shops?
Yeah, because what happened was because of this COVID-19, everybody took the turmeric home. But the real situation is, turmeric is a crop which we can grow in this country. We need roughly about 8 to 10,000 tons of dry turmeric per year.
Right.
And for that we can cultivate, we can be self-sufficient within no time. But because we imported a lot of turmeric at a cheaper rate, cheaper price, our farmers got lost. The curcumin content in our turmeric is much better.
So that's the bane of our manufacturers and our farmers in this country, is because along with this free market economy, we've all forgotten what Mrs. Bandaranaike was trying to do all those years ago. We may not agree with her economic policies, but her agricultural policy, if we had followed it, I dare say, today we'll be in a different wicket altogether.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's interesting that the government is, at least this government is trying to up the game. But how successful is this upping the game? Is it working? Are there signs that everybody's working?
Yeah, it is. Because, that is why now we have given, as you said, as Dr. Virakon, correctly mentioned, now we are going to give the seeds at a concession rate for, at different levels, like, for half an acre, we'll be giving free of charge. Either if we, planted or either if we don't have it, if he doesn't have it, so we will be giving them and then we will compensate it.
Right.
So like that, we have some categories. And at the same time, we are going to give a guaranteed price for the farmers when it is being cultivated, when their product is ready for harvest, So we'll have a price for each and every commodity. So the government has a mechanism in place at that time to buy all these their products.
To answer your question, are there any signs?
Yeah.
Everybody is asking for seeds. Nobody is asking for seeds for consumption. So that is cultivation. So there's a boom coming up. I mean, so we have to make use of that, and I think we have to.
When you spoke about water, we've been following here at Newsfirst the misfortunes and the fortunes of the Umayyah project, and it's frustrating for us to see that this project is very nearly finished. But when I visited the site maybe about a month ago, I found that water was still being wasted. And I was told at the time by the engineers that you only need a little valve to divert the water. And then talking to the politicians from that area, they say, if you had water, we've got thousands of acres or hectares in Monragala to do that. So how close is your involvement? You know, does it all fuse together, the water people, the agriculture people?
Yes, right now everybody is together.
Right.
Now agrarian, they are with us and we are with them. Irrigation, we are working together. Mahavalis, all are in the same ministry, even the animal production.
Yeah, animal production also.
Everything is in the together.
I see.
Same umbrella.
So
Actually it's good that you have kind of one central.
Yes, very, I mean, but there's one thing that we have to tell. Water is available in this country, but we have to conserve water. Water is very scarce resource.
Right.
So just because water is there, we should not use it, I mean, ample amount of water for agriculture.
Right.
We must conserve water, and we must increase the use efficiency of the water.
Well, Mr. Veerakon, I must tell you, Dr. Veerakon, I must tell you that you need to go and visit the Umayyah site and then authorize them to put that special valve in so that you can get the water down to the areas of Monragala. But on that note, this wonderful half an hour has come to an end. Mr. Veerasekara, thank you very much.
Yes.
And thank you for being here, all of you. And, you know, I wish it could be longer. But stay safe, you know, keep your distance. And I wish you well, because the public will be following what you all are doing.
Yeah, sure,
it's
sure.
very important, obviously, needless, but we must say it.
Yeah.
Thank you, and
Thank you very
take
much.
care, and continue with the great work that you're all doing. And that's the way it was on Newsline. Take care, have a wonderful evening ahead of you. The news is next, and of course, take care, and God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
TV1 රැස්වීදෙන ජීවිතය